Okay, hello everyone. Today we're looking at the CBUM pre-workout right here, and let's just jump into it. So today's episode, I think, is going to be the most detailed analysis I've ever done because, as you can see here, this is a spreadsheet of all the ingredients that I'm going to be looking at, all the studies right here, how much dose we need, if they're good or not, what they do. So this is going to be pretty good. But yeah, I'm working on a spreadsheet where I'm just gonna have every single ingredient on a list and saying if it's good or bad, and then the sources of the studies. But yeah, let's just get into it. So obviously, I've got to do the price first. So it looks like they have a discount here, so I'm not quite sure which price I should do, but I suppose let's do the discount. So it's 520 grams for 46. Okay, so this is kind of mid-range price, which is okay. But let's go to the ingredients. And this, I'll be honest, this is a pretty fat stack. I looked at it for a bit and it's a pretty fat stack. So first, let's do the calcium. So calcium, I mean, I can't really tell you what the point of calcium is. So calcium, what does calcium do? It strengthens your bones, and pretty much like it's found that calcium can be good. So right here it says it's good for treating sarcopenia, and this is pretty much like when you lose muscle because of age, so age-related muscle loss, and calcium can be good then. I suppose calcium kind of has the effect of strengthening your bones, and then when you're increasing the density in your bones, and when you do that, then you become stronger, meaning you can lift more weight. But also, like, if you're younger, then you already have strong bones, so there's no real point of that. But so I can't really see the point of calcium, so I would say that's probably bad. Plus, on top of that, I found here that you need around 1,200 or 1.2 grams of calcium per day for it to have an effect. And here they have 85 milligrams, which is basically nothing. So yeah, let's move on to sodium. For sodium, pretty much the only effect that sodium has is that it kind of holds water. So if you're sweating a lot, sodium is a form of electrolyte. So it just holds water, replenishes electrolytes, and obviously if you have water in your muscles, you're going to get a better pump, you're going to have more endurance, you're going to get less tired. However, usually when I go to the gym, I don't sweat that much. Like, okay, in the summer, yes, you sweat, but if you're going to the gym, let's say in winter, sodium pretty much has no effect. So if you're taking a pre-workout for, not going to the gym, but like riding, cycling, running, or like endurance type sports, then sodium can be effective. But if you're taking sodium just for going to the gym, then there's no real point. On top of that, they only have 10 milligrams of sodium. this this said that you should be taking, so before a workout you should be taking around 500 milligrams of sodium, and during the whole day you should be taking 4 to 6 grams. So not good and severely underdosed, but I suppose they just threw it in there. But let's move on to the next one. So L-citrulline. For L-citrulline, I've done a bit more research, and the deeper you get into the research, the more depressing it becomes, because pretty much the only ingredient that is fully said to be good is caffeine. Like, and all the other ingredients are like pretty much, they might be good, they might not be good. And then, for example, we have citrulline here, where one study says that it does nothing, and one study says that there's like small marginal gains from L-citrulline. So yeah, this study pretty much said that there was marginal gains from L-citrulline, and that high level athletes might use this to outcompete other athletes. This study found that citrulline combined with exercise had a bigger effect than exercise or citrulline alone. and this study said that there was pretty much no effect, no significant benefit of citrulline. The science is very split. On top of that, you need 5 grams of L-citrulline, and this is 3 grams if you take one dose and 6 grams if you take 2 doses. So mid. L-citrulline is a very mid ingredient. I mean, to be honest, all these ingredients are mid, except for caffeine. It's just which ingredients are a bit more better than mid and which ones are just below mid. So L-citrulline is all right. I would say majority of studies suggest that it has some effect at 5 grams. So let's move on to beta-alanine. And beta-alanine I usually do not like. If pre-workouts have beta-alanine. So first of all, we got to look at the dose. So beta-alanine, you need 6 grams per day, every single day. So this is very underdosed. And basically beta-alanine, what does it do? It increases your endurance, but only if you take beta-alanine every single day, 6 grams for like a period of time. Because beta-alanine needs to saturate in the body, so it needs to build up. Same as creatine. Creatine needs time to build up, so you need to be taking it every single day. Same with beta-alanine. You need to be taking 6 grams every single day for a period of time, and then there might be marginal gains. So that's why I don't like beta-alanine usually in pre-workouts, but this is like pretty underdosed anyways, so I would say this is pretty bad. But then we move on to betaine. For betaine, we have the same results. So pretty much 8-week supplementation of betaine had no effect of body composition. So there was no difference between the placebo and the betaine group in body mass or fat-free mass or muscle. So there was no change in one study. Then there was some change in another study. So here they said that there was 2 studies that said that there was an increase in strength. And this study found that there was advantage of lower dose of betaine on, some effects. So very mixed as well, but if we take into account that one study did find that it worked, and one study that found that it didn't change body composition, I suppose it could increase strength. So yeah, here I said betaine hydrates the muscles, and once the muscles are hydrated, it triggers hypertrophy as well as protein synthesis. But also you need less than 4 grams. So dosing is okay, but the ingredient itself is like that's why I'm saying it's like all these ingredients are very mixed. Like these studies that I'm showing you are very high quality, meaning they pretty much took a lot of studies and they put them together, and then they found where the ingredient leans towards being good or towards having no effect. And as you can see, like 3 studies, one suggests that it has no effect, one suggests that it has little effect, and one suggests that it has little effect. But I would dose it a bit more. I would dose this a bit more, but it's an alright ingredient, I suppose. L-tyrosine. For L-tyrosine, it pretty much has an effect of increasing cognition. So here I wrote increases levels of dopamine, adrenaline, and norepinephrine or noradrenaline, and this can decrease the perception of exertion. So pretty much you feel like you're doing less when you're doing more. And the studies suggest that it's all right at a dose of 100 to 300 milligrams per kilogram. So if you're 70 kilograms, that's 7,000. Oh my goodness. So pretty much you need to be taking 7 grams of L-tyrosine for it to have an effect. Like, yeah, well, it's very depressing. The studies are very depressing. I'll be honest. Like I need to research a bit more, but what I've found, and these studies are pretty much like the best that I could find, and even they don't know like what the hell the ingredients do. So I don't know. I suppose it's all right, but like based on the studies, I would dose this like 7 times more. But that seems like a lot. Okay, next taurine. For taurine, it's finally actually hopeful. So this pretty much says that it may find its advantage of including taurine in your daily regimen, and taurine showed noteworthy effects. And also, taurine ingestion improved overall endurance for performance. So that's actually pretty good. And again, you should be taking either 50 milligrams or 1 gram of taurine. And here it's 1 gram. So, okay, that's the first one that's actually pretty good, I would say. Okay, next we have a nitrosogene. For the nitrosogene, as you can see here, it did show that increased cognitive tests required some increased mental flexibility by increasing processing speed and executive functions. So I don't know if that really needs to be in a pre-workout, but also I found that both nitrosogene and citrulline malate increase the vasodilation, meaning you get bigger pumps. However, that could have been just citrulline malate working. So there is some studies suggesting that it does work on cognition, I would say mostly. So if you're taking it for cognition, then yeah, you can take it. I suppose there wasn't a dosing set at what dose you need to be taking it, so I suppose this is a good dose. It seems like a lot, yes. So yeah, I'd say this is a good dose. Next we have Cocos nucifer, and for this, I pretty much, well, it doesn't. There's nothing saying that it's amazing. There's nothing confirming that it does increase your performance. However, coconut water is basically same as electrolytes, so it just fuels your muscles with water. Again, I wouldn't really say that you should be using this in a pre-workout. You should be using this if you're sweating a lot. Then yes, coconut water / electrolytes can be good for you. In a pre-workout, not really. And there's also no study saying that it's good for performance or not. So, mid. Next, caffeine. And caffeine, pretty underdosed, I'll be honest. So caffeine plus dicaffeine malate, which is just another form of caffeine. Together, per scoop, they're 160 milligrams of caffeine, which is a very, very, very small amount, I'll be honest. So for caffeine, you should be taking around 200 to 600 grams, meaning this combination of caffeine doesn't even exceed that. So realistically, you should be taking 2 scoops of this if you want any effect of the caffeine. So yeah, caffeine is pretty underdosed, but caffeine itself is obviously the most proven ingredient in any pre-workout, so that's good. Next, we move on to citicoline, and this one was pretty weird, I'll be honest. So I found this Spanish study. Pretty much what it said, it improves memory and attention, improves memory in dementia people. It has a beneficial influence on cognition function in Alzheimer's disease, and it improves prognosis after head injury, reduces severity of brain kinase and muscle rigidity in Parkinson's disease. So this one is definitely a miss. This one is definitely a miss. I'll be honest. It's an ingredient that fucking Alzheimer's people use, so I don't think they should be putting that in a pre-workout. And there was minimal effects on people, on healthy people, so that one's a miss, I think. Next, theobromine, and the big problem with theobromine is that there is only one study on theobromine, and basically it says that there might be some effect of theobromine and it might be good. Might be good. And also there's no like statement of how much you should be taking. So theobromine might be good. As you can see here, there were no adverse it showed contradicting results, and there was insufficient data, and there appears that there is potential to increase performance. I love that. There is potential. So very mid, I would say. Plus, usually most pre-workouts dose it from 50 to 100 milligrams. So I would say one scoop is underdosed as well. And lastly, estrogen. And for estrogen, it's an antioxidant, I suppose. And there's no real, like, this is the only study as well, and there's no real thing that says that it's good or not. So, plus the dosing. So we can get the dosing correct. Okay, so this is underdosed as well. This is underdosed severely. So you should be taking around 35 milligrams of estrogen for it to have any effect. And even then, it's minimal. So yeah, to sum it up, not good, mid plus underdosed. Underdosed severely plus not a good ingredient. Underdosed and alright ingredient. This one's okay. This one's okay. Okay. Not good. Underdosed. Not good. Underdosed and not really that good of a ingredient. However, I'll be honest, this is a pretty stacked formula. So I'll be honest, based on the studies, I don't think any pre-workout is going to be good, but in correlation or in competition with these pre-workouts, I think it was a pretty solid pre-workout. So I would say it's somewhere here. Probably C. It's a pretty stacked pre-workout, but I think they were just hoping that you look at the pre-workout and say, okay, this is a lot of ingredients, I need to buy this. But in reality, most ingredients are underdosed and not really that great. So I'm sorry, CBUM, but this is gonna be a miss for me. So yeah, that's my ranking. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.